Talking about
Perfect.
0.05, right? I mean, a lot of people think, hey, how did it come about? I have read a lot of statistical textbooks, and R.A. Fisher said that, hey, it's because of 1 in 20. Do you accept a 5% error of getting things wrong? That's all about it. That's why it's 0.05. And this opens the door to, type 1 error and type 2 error. Can you talk more about, these types of error and which is more grave in your field? Is it to do type 1 error or type 2 error?
Yes, that's a great question. So they're semi-tied together. But a type 1 error is the probability of saying, so when you say that there's an effect, but there's not. So you say, okay, this treatment does work when in fact it doesn't. And the type 2 error is kind of the flip of that. It's if we say there's no effect when there is. So you're basically missing out on a potential treatment. So really this boils down to like type 1 is more um, is treated with more caution in our field because you could potentially be exposing people to a treatment that doesn't work when you say that it does, and that has side effects associated with it. So if someone was exposed to chemotherapy, a certain type of therapy for cancer, and there's a laundry list of horrible side effects, but the treatment doesn't work, it's pretty important to make sure that that probability is as low as it can be. Whereas if you miss out on a potential effect, um, then it's more lenient in that sense. It's basically we would prefer for the safety of people to miss out on a potential treatment than to expose people to something that's not helpful. Um, I don't know if it's the same in business or in your field.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, at least I can speak for my company, we adopt frequentist methodologies because it kind of gives you the type 1 error guarantees. I mean, that's all about false positive, right? So you're trying to safeguard against false positives. In my
Mhm.
field of, market mix modeling, we are trying to identify the marketing channels, which has, caused the sales, right? And we don't want to identify, false channels. And if we do so, the clients would end up putting their money on, channels that really didn't move the needle of sales and end up losing money. So we kind of, safeguard against that and use, type 1 error guarantees. But in your field, if I'm given to understand, let's take an example of COVID, right? Uh,
Mhm.
if we falsely develop a medicine or a vaccine and assume that it's working, but it doesn't, I believe we are committing a type 1 error. And you think that this is much more grave because then there is a very virulent disease out there, people are dying, but if they take a medicine which falsely gives them a hope, but still it doesn't work, you're still going to end up seeing the fatalities that you keep seeing. Is that the right thought process?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it all boils down to like harm reduction,
Mhm.
to not harm people. I mean, obviously you don't ever want to harm people, but there's no treatment without risk. So it's to mitigate that risk. So that's
Mhm.
exactly right.
Great.